Good morning, all. So let's start our session, guys. So anyone please confirm that I'm audible to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Right. So today we're going to be discussing about the DevOps. What is meant by DevOps? Why we are using in our organizations? So how it is useful in our project and how it is increasing its productivity. So these are all the things we'll be discussing step by step. So before getting into this one, let me introduce myself. My name is Anil Kumar. I have 17 plus years of IT experience, currently working as a project manager, and I've completed my post-graduation MBA and MCA, and professional certifications have completed Prince 2 Practitioner, CSM, PSM, ITIL, Six Sigma, Green Belt. Have extensive experience in the training and consulting from the last 7 years onwards. I'm giving freelance training on conducting the workshops on DevOps, cloud computing, as well as an Agile Scrum. And I worked at on-site experience, worked at client location for 5 years, where I was exposed to different methodologies have been implemented in the project management. So which I'm going to be sharing with you all people. So these are all about me. So let's get into the topic for the day, that is DevOps. So what is meant by DevOps? Why most of the organizations have been recruited the resources who are having the skill set of the DevOps. So what makes its importance? DevOps is a buzzword from the quite a few years onwards. So we have heard about this DevOps, and what makes that importance, that why the organizations are recruiting the DevOps skill set resources. And before implementation of the DevOps also, we have developed the projects. But with the implementation of this DevOps, why there is a lot of importance is there for the DevOps? What makes it importance? What makes it to implementing the DevOps in our project development? Let's discuss step by step. So DevOps, which brings the productivity in your application development. DevOps, which brings that speed in your application development. As we all know that one from the last 10, 15 years before, to developing a small application also, it is taking minimum 10 to 15 months it will be taking, even a small web application as well. So here, 10, 15 years back, everything is manual. But in the last 1 decade, the market was drastically changes. The client wants their applications to be getting developed quickly and delivered the quality services. At the same time, the client is also required the flexibility as per the market competency. He wants that applications to be getting developed quickly, guys. As per the market competency, he should have the flexibility to give the new requirements even after the development has been started. So for that purpose, so the management experts, they come up with the new methodologies. And likewise, we are having this Agile Scrum and Agile Kanban, and then we have this DevOps methodology, guys. First, we'll step by step, we'll go here. As you all people coming from the different backgrounds, right? Some are some working professionals in IT or already having an experience, regardless of how many years you people are having, the senior, junior. But again, you want to move to a better career path, which is not only going to pay you for 3 times of your salary or 200% and 300% of your salary, but the domain which is easy for you to be transferred. That is a major point, and the domain which is more steady. And when I say steady, there are ups and downs due to the recession, guys. Okay, there are ups and downs. There are ups and downs are there in the recession. Due to recession, we are having some. But still, if you have equipped properly with the knowledge on what you need, you will be able to be survive in the industry. So I believe that this is how you can recognize. Sorry, guys, just a minute. So this is how we can able to be categorizing yourself, right? So when I was talking about you, talking about your fresher or a non-IT person or a person who experienced, again, it could be in India or in abroad. So now you can consider that in the market, the cloud and the DevOps skill set is must. It is one of not just an emerging technologies, but this is something which is already there in the market, which is something that in the market for from the quite a few years, from the last 4 5 years onwards, it is getting boom. So if you just wanted to be kickstart your career in IT, so this skill set must be there in your resume. Suppose now where we are implementing this DevOps, let me explain this one. So I'll be explaining with an example, then we'll be getting into the topic there. So here there are some technical giants like your Amazon is there, where you shop almost every day and you use a lot of shopping things. So some of the companies that, again, not just Amazon, Myntra, um, a lot of things are there. And then all of us watch a lot of movies on our web series as well, right? Web series, movies, and we are watching the movies online. We are watching the movies through the OTT, right? So OTT platform, like your, whether it is an Amazon Prime or your Hotstar or the Netflix, right? So there are multiple platforms are there. So these are some of the companies, not just that. Let's talk about e-commerce applications also, like your the Target, you have a Target, Walmart, right? Your banking domain. So almost any kind of a domain that you take but what can, sorry guys. Now here, any kind of a domain you can take it in the current market. What is they are looking at? Because day by day, they have a lots and lots of challenges are there for that applications. You talk about Amazon, talk about Netflix, you talk about Facebook, or talk about LinkedIn or Instagram, right? Whatever that you take, what's happening? Because what's happening in the behind the businesses, they still have that regular businesses running, and they are coming up with the new services are releasing in this one, guys. So your application which is running continuously, at the same time, the new services are reflecting. They're developing the product and they try to be releasing that product. We use it and we use it one, but because the market that need the challenges that they are looking at is how we scale right. How we are scaling up your applications. What is mean by scaling? That means, see here, when we are working with these applications here, there are a lot of load which is coming on your application. When a lot of load which is coming on your application, you have to be scale up that your service, providing the optimum services to our end users who are accessing your application. So to do all these tasks in the backend, we have in the backend, we are having this Agile and the DevOps team, Agile Scrum and the DevOps teams are there, where they can able to be developing, testing, and delivering the product in a less time. Right. So this is an overview of where we are implementing the DevOps here, guys. So first we understand what is meant by a software development. What is meant by a software? It's a process of transforming your requirements into a complete software product. The client is coming up with an abstract idea, is giving your abstract requirements to you, and you are going to be converting that abstract requirements into transforming that one into a complete software product and delivering that product to the client. But it's called software. With that software, the client is running the business. Correct or not? Any application you might be taking, any software you can take it here. With that software, you can run that application, run your business smoothly. You can take that one. Amazon is working on the software, right? Myntra is there. Netflix is there. Netflix is a software only, right? OTT application have been developed, and with that one, we can able to be delivering the services to the client, to services to the client. That means here, end users are the client who are consuming the services. Now, coming back to this one, DevOps is a collaboration between the development and operations teams, which enables continuous delivery of your applications and services to our end users. So here, it's a web definition where you can find it. As we all know that when DevOps means, most of you people will be saying that development and operations. So what is mean by development and operations? Who are involving in the development? Who are involving in the operations? What their activities? What those people are doing? So here, if you can see this one, here in the development team, we have the developers are there, UI designers are there, testing engineers, QA engineers, build engineers, release managers, support engineers, program managers. Like this one, we have the different teams are there. So these are all the teams who are contributing their work to developing the project. And suppose now we're developing an application for the ICICI Bank. So they build this application and handed over this build application to your operations team. And the operations team people like your system admins, network admins, middleware admins, storage admins, and the deployment engineers, they deploy this application here. Okay, deploy the application into the data center. Data center is nothing but this is where we are having the hundreds and thousands of servers are there, guys. So these servers, they are going to be taking this application and deploy this application into your data center. Ensures that the deployment is successful and this application is configured in all these hundreds of servers. So when the end users like us, when you are hitting the URL like this one, it is getting connected to this data center. And these are your rack spaces. Under the rack spaces, we are having the servers, guys. If you can see, if you remember, I don't know whether you have seen or not, AWS data center. Okay, this is your AWS data center, guys. Okay, these are your rack spaces. Inside of the rack spaces, we are having the servers. Inside of the servers, we are having the application. Our applications are running, guys. So here also, what we did is this application, when we are working, application have been deployed. When you're hitting this URL, the request is getting connected to this data center, and this application will be process your end user's request and send back the response back to your laptop from where your end user is accessing. So these are all the things which is happening in a fraction of second, micro fraction of seconds. Right now, here, DevOps is nothing but, as I said, DevOps is a development and operations team. Development and operations team. And what these people are doing here is, DevOps is a collaboration between the development and operations team, which enable continuously delivering of your application and the services to our end users. Now, we know that every month we will be receiving some notifications of the applications, whether it is a mobile or the web applications, we receive some notifications. Once you click on that link which is provided in the notifications, your application will be getting updated. When that application is getting updated, the new services are getting reflecting in it. Am I right or not, guys? Have you ever thought that how these people are developing these new services quickly and delivering that new services into the market, into how they are delivering these new services quick to the market? This is what happened in the DevOps case. That is why every organizations or every clients also wants their applications to be getting developed using this DevOps methodology. Now, if you can see this one, earlier, as I said, we are not having this DevOps methodology. To developing even a small application also, it is taking time. But with this DevOps methodology, we can deliver the new services quick to the market, developing and delivering that services quick to the market. And this DevOps methodology. It's not a technology here, guys. It's not a technology. It's a methodology, process enhancement here, guys. Okay, process enhancement. So to developing this application or implementing these applications here, there are certain things we need to be kept in mind, guys. Suppose now we require this scalability. That means, as I said just now, e-commerce applications here. Suppose now there is an OTT application we are watching, or some Hotstar application we are watching. So there is a World Cup matches going on. In Hotstar application we are watching. There are 10 lakhs of people are watching already. All of a sudden, when one star player, that means Virat Kohli, is on the crease, when Virat Kohli is on the crease, additional 5 to 8 lakhs of people additionally they would like to be watch that match. So on Hotstar application, there are additional 5 to 8 lakhs of people additional load which is coming on it. Then what happens? This Disney Hotstar application, they have the implementation of the DevOps. What they did is they have scale up their servers. Based upon the load which is coming on that application, they scale up their application. They scale up the servers. That means adding more number of servers automatically. It's not manual, guys. Automatically adding the more number of servers so that they can taking this extra load and distributing that load uniformly across these servers so that they can able to be providing the better services to the users. Have you ever faced that whenever you're watching any Hotstar applications or any OTT applications, have you faced any kind of a difficulty that when more load is coming, your application is completely down, or your Hotstar application is down, or any other OTT application is down? No. This is your scalability, right? Not only this one here, guys. See here, let's take some example on Myntra. Regular days, no one will go and shop, but suddenly when they said that there is a week where they will be giving you 20%, 30%, 50% discounts they'll be providing. So you will be tempted to at least do some shopping, even though if you're not buying it. Some people, even though if they're not buying it, but still they do the shopping. Will browse that site. So obviously what happened, there is a lot of load that has been added, right? There is a lot of load which has been added. Sometimes there will be, as I said, the more load which is coming on it, what's happening at particular time, the business grows, there is a huge load on your application. Now, what they have to do here, they have to scale their business, right? A simple way we can say that one, suppose now in my session, there are 30 people are sitting and listening my session. And suddenly I saw that extra 50 people also are coming in. So how do I scale my business? That is what everyone is looking, whether it's a small organization or a large organization, they need to be work on this. That means how I can able to be accommodate that extra 50 people into my session. So how I can able to be see the way, I mean, I look the ways that where I can able to be accommodate the extra 50 members. That is how the that is how every business has to be scaled up. Next one, the scalability has been done. Why we are implementing the DevOps? Because one thing is scalability automatically can be done based upon the load which is coming on it. Next one is high availability. High availability. What is meant by high availability? Whether you logged in into your Amazon or a Netflix or a Facebook, that means it's around 3 a.m. in the morning. Suppose now you're not getting the sleep. 3 a.m. in the morning, you wake up and you're not getting the sleep, and you try to be watch some Netflix movies or some news you would like to be watched from the YouTube. So that application is available, right? That application which is available. That means they are giving the services like 24/7, 365 days. 24/7, 365 days. So the company also wants to make sure that it's not about just scaling. Whatever the business they are running, it should be always available. It's not like that one. Only scale up your businesses and it ensuring that high availability of your application. Now, if you can see, guys, banking applications, net banking, we are using from last 7-8 years onwards, more than 10 years also sometimes. Net banking services earlier, when it was introduced first time in the market, it was the net banking services are running during the banking hours only, morning 10 to evening 5. But after 5, no banking services will be running, net banking services. So, but now, as per the market competency, they are coming up with high availability. That means 24/7, you can use the banking services. Even in the middle of the night also, if you want to transfer the amount, yes, which is possible. Correct or not? Which is possible. So that is, they are the companies which also wants to ensuring that it's not just scaling up your business at all. Also, you have to be give the 24/7 services you need to be provided. High availability of your application. If you are having the scalability and high availability, that is enough? No. You need to be continuously delivering the services here, guys. Continuously, you need to be deliver the services. That means here, suppose now if you want, as per the market competency, the new services which the market is expecting, the new services we have to be delivered it continuously, guys. So apart from the scalability, high availability, you have to be delivering the services of your application continuously, guys. Is it enough? No. Security is also shared. Protecting your application. Right? Protecting your application. So here, any kind of a business or any kind of an application that you're trying to be accessed has to be completely secure. Because will you be happy if your Facebook account is hacked? Will you be happy your Myntra account is hacked or Netflix account is hacked or LinkedIn account is hacked? No, right? So that is where an organization are also heavily investing to ensuring that not just their application, but their entire business is secure, right? Just to what that, for example, Netflix, we know that when Netflix, earlier their businesses went down. Recently, they have because why that Netflix account has been, the Netflix business has been went down in India. Multiple logins. Because we use the kind of a multiple logins, correct? So nowadays here, what is that means single username and password, multiple logins, multiple devices, we did that one, right? We are sharing that username and password with your friends and the relatives. But now they brings that security in your application, security in the Netflix application. What they have done is they have restricted that. Whether you logged in into your mobile or TV at the time, only one person, one device, one person should be logged in. Now, what happens is with that kind of a security feature they have been bringing, obviously the business will start coming up. The business is picked up now. So suppose now if you want two persons to watch at the same time, subscribe accordingly. So that's where security doesn't mean it's always about unauthorized access, but also to make sure our details are secure, right? So this is the ultimate need of any kind of an organizations, whether it is a small or a small business or the big business here, whether it's a retail business or an e-commerce business or a banking domain. So from your sites, whatever that you, the kind of the social marketing. So this is the need, guys. So that is where we continuously delivering these services here, guys. So why we are implementing the DevOps? There are certain features like your scalability, automatically we have to done. High availability, 24/7, 365 days availability. This application should be available, and continuously delivering the new services, and the security as well, guys. So these are main reasons why we are implementing the DevOps. Fine. Now coming back to this one, now here, let me explain this one. Before implementation of these DevOps, what kind of a problems we faced? First, we understand that. Suppose now, here we have the developers. We are developing an application. The developers, so they are developing that code, and after that, they push that code into the SCM. SCM is nothing but source code management. Source code management. So this is a code repository here, guys, where all the developers who are completing their work, they're completing their source code on they develop the services, they written that code. So they are going to be push that code in the central code repository. Okay, this is the place where your project source code which is available. Source code management. That means here, if you can see this one, this is the place. So we have the tools earlier. We are having the SVN and the CVS, subversion network and central version system. So all your project source code or project raw source code, which is available here, guys. Okay, project raw source code and DB scripts, okay, documents and other project relevant files, which is available here. Everything which is available in this one, guys, project source code, everything which is available in this one. And after that, we have the build team is there. Build team people manually, they are going to be pull this code and getting into the build server. This is your build environment here, guys. Okay, build environment. And in this build environment, what these people will do is here, they compile that code, they pull this code from the source code management into this server, build server. They compile that code, integrate with the existing code, build your application and generating the executable files like your .exe, .msi files are there. So here everything is manual here, guys. We did everything is manual because it is taking a lot of time in this one. Why? Because in a project we are having as the project is progressing, eventually what happens, the number of files have been accumulating. The more number of files will be added up. In the first day, first week, the first day we are having minimal files, 10, 15 files are there. After first week, 100 files. After 1 month, we are having the 200 and 300 files are there. So when your number of files have been increasing, eventually what happens here is this build process becomes tedious, becomes slow, because number of all the files, suppose now when already integrated, that means they compile that code. Suppose now here we have the 300 files are there, already existing 300 files are there. They have added up another 20 files in this one. So they have to be added up. The build compiling that code 300 plus 20, 320 files, they'll be compiled, integrate and build that application and generating this executable files. Everything is manual in this one, guys. Everything is manual. That is why it takes long time earlier. And these developers infrequently push that code into the source code management. Infrequently they'll be committed. That is a major problem we have in this methodology. This is earlier methodology we practiced. So once they develop this executable files, they deploy this executable files deployment into your testing server, guys. So once it is deployed into the testing server, testing team people are ready with the manual test cases. The application, once it is deployed into the testing server, testing team people, they are executing that test cases. executing the test cases. Once it is deployed into the executing the test cases here, if the test cases have been get failed, generating the test results, bug report. They're sending that bug report to your development team. That means it is taking 5 to 7 days of time. That means the developer, when push that code to get this test results, the developer need to be wait for 5 to 7 days earlier. What this guy will do then? What this guy will do during this 5 to 7 days of time? Can't sitting idle, right? It is not possible in the private sectors. So your team lead will be assigning the task for the next 15 days here, guys. The first task when the developer have been pushed. So he start working and making an analysis and start writing the code for the task 2. Start working on the task 2. When he got the bug report, when he checked that one, if it is relevant to task 1, bugs are there, he stop working on the task 2, open the relevant source code of the task 1. Relevant source code, he has he has opened this task 1 relevant source code and resolving that bug. Making some changes in the code, enhancing that code, resolving that bug, and again, that enhanced code is going to be pushed that code. Again, the same process is repeats. That means to observe, to resolving one bug, on an average, it is taking minimum 10 days of time. One bug. Observe carefully. When we are having the multiple bugs are there, how much time it is taking to be resolving such kind of a bug case. Am I right or not? How much time it is taking to resolving the bugs in that one. So that is why earlier it takes a lot of time to resolving, a lot of times to be developing an application. Everything is manual in this process. So now the market was drastically changes, as I said. So the clients wants their applications to be getting developed in a quick way. So if you are implementing this kind of a manual process, no client will be interested to give the projects to you. So the management experts, they start thinking on what is the other alternative what we have in this, how we can able to be improvise this process, enhancing the process, how we can able to be reducing this 5 to 7 days of process into few hours. How we can get that one, how we can brings that automation. So then they start working on automation and they develop this DevOps methodology and Agile Scrum. Now here, what is DevOps here? DevOps goal is to shorten the development life cycle and provide the consistent delivery of high quality software by bridging the gap between the development and IT operations team. Now here, as I said, so earlier we are having this problem we are having, right? Now we are going to be addressing that problem and brings that automation into it here, guys. Now, for example, here, the developers push that code into the source code management, SVN and CVS is there, right? Now we have the new tools, the automation, which brings in this DevOps methodology. GitHub and the Bitbucket. These are your distributed version control system. We'll see that one, guys, once the regular sessions has been started from tomorrow. We'll be discussing in detail about what is this GitHub, what is this Bitbucket, what is this distributed version control system. We'll see. So in this GitHub repository, when the commits that new code into the GitHub repository, here earlier we are having the build team is there. Correct? If you remember, earlier we have the build team is there. This build team have been removed and they introduced this continuous integration server, CI/CD server we used to be calling. Jenkins is the most popular tool we are using in a real time. So here actual DevOps engineer job will be started, the configuring the Jenkins jobs. Here, the DevOps engineer is going to be configuring the Jenkins jobs. And here we have the build tools like Maven, MS Build, Gradle we are using. When we are building this application here, after that, with the help of this Maven, majorly we are using the Maven here, guys, okay, which is most popular and having the more priority also, most of the projects. So Maven we are using, when they are pulling this code, with the help of this Maven, even hundreds of files also can be compiled within compile that code and generating the artifacts. That means executable files will be generated within minutes. That is an advantage what we'll be getting with this one, guys, right? So after that, it is compiling that code, integrate with your existing code and build that application, and generating the artifacts is called jar, var, and AR file. Jar files, var files, or the AR. Jar files means Java archives, var files means web archives, EAR files means enterprise archive files. So when we are getting these files, okay, when we are getting these artifacts here, jar, var, and EAR files have been get generated, and this file we continuously deployed into your testing server. There is no manual intervention here, guys. And one more thing, here Jenkins, it is getting connected to this source code management. Jenkins is configuring the job in such a way that at regular intervals of time, it is getting connected to the source code management. What does it mean? That means here, if I said CA continuous integration, 3 hours, every 3 hours, Jenkins will be automatically getting connected to the source code management. Within these 3 hours, if any of the developer commits that new code into the source code management, okay, into the source code management, the Jenkins is going to be pulling that latest code into the Jenkins server, and with the help of the build tools, it is compiling that code, build that code, generating the artifacts, and continuously deployed into the testing server. No manual intervention here, guys. Once we configure this job, we need to be monitored. So this 3 hours is not standard time. It is differ from organization to organization. Suppose in our organization, it is 3 hours. I have instructed my DevOps team that they have to be configured as per my organization policy. Every 3 hours, they have to be configured. But in other organizations, it might be different. Suppose now if you join in IBM, it might be 3.5 hours, 3.5 hours. In Accenture, it might be 4 hours. So you might be thinking, sir, how do we know, sir, then? See, any software organization, any process-oriented MNCs, the day one when you joined, you are not allocated any work. First, you people are undergoing one induction training program for the next 1 week, 7 to 10 days of time. During this 7 to 10 days of time, you people will be get trained. What are the policies? What is that project? What is the infrastructure they are using? What kind of a cloud infrastructure they are using? One of the DevOps team guy will be coming and giving you the training here. Okay, one of the DevOps team guy will be coming and giving the training about what is that project, and they'll be providing the documentation. And the rest of the day, you people are going through this documentation and understanding the process and understanding about the project. So this is what happened. Later, they'll be providing you the laptop and providing you the documentation to read and all, understand that. So this is continuous. In 3 hours will be, you come to know that whether it is 3 hours or 3.5 or 4 hours or 4.5 hours. So once you generated this one, after that continuous deployment, continuously we are going to be deploying that application into the testing server. So there is no manual intervention. We are configuring the job in such a way that once this jar, var, and AR file generated, continuously deployed into the testing server. Once it is deployed into the testing server, we have the Selenium, JUnit, and the TestNG is there, where we can able to be executing. That means these people, they are writing the automation test cases, testing automation test cases they're writing. Once that application is deployed into the testing server, they're executing the test cases. And if the test cases have been passed, then it will be moved into the staging server. If the test cases have been failed, we are having the bug report will be getting generated and sending that bug report to the developers on the same day. Suppose now here in the morning, we commit this code at around 11:30 a.m. 11:30 a.m. he commits this code into the source code management. So here, when we configure this DevOps automation tools here in the various phases, the testing server tests this application, send this bug report by 2 p.m. You people are going to be getting that bug report on the same day. On the same day, you people are receiving. Your work becomes faster, right? Earlier, it is taking 5 to 7 days of time, but now it is not like that. But no need to be developer, no need to be wait for 5 to 7 days of time. On 2 p.m. on the same day, you people are going to be receiving the bug report. It is speed up your work. Fine. Now after that, now I need to be test my application in the real-time environment. The real-time, not one or, see, in the individual environments, we have worked on it, guys. Right? In the individual environment, we have test our application, which is working absolutely fine. But now I need to be test my applications in the real-time environment. Suppose my HDFC application is not accessed by one or two persons. It will be accessed by thousands and the lakhs of people. So when the thousands and thousands and lakhs of people are accessing my application, how my application should perform, that I need to be tested. How I can do? I need to be test my application in 100 servers. Earlier days, before this, that means 100 servers means to purchasing the 100 servers for any organizations is a cost burden. And to managing that 100 servers, physical servers, if you want to maintain, you have to have your own data center like this one, guys. You should have the data center. You should have the data center like this. There is a separate server room will be there. And that server room, they have to be maintain their infrastructure quite good, because for 100 servers, they should have at least 30 ACs should be needed, because physical server maintenance is quite difficult. It's complex as well. We require the network admins, we require the server admins, and the other staff also we required for that to maintaining these 100 servers. Additional cost to the organization. And your project is not the only one is running in the organization. There are other teams are there, they are working on the other projects. They are also need of 100 servers. If that is the case, for every project, every team to providing the hundreds of servers, which is quite difficult if you are maintaining the physical data center, physical servers. Earlier days, it was worked, because earlier days, we are not having this much of market. Even if they are having a 50 servers, 60 servers, the applications are running quite good. But now the market demand is more. We need to be providing the better services. So to provide the better services, we require the more infrastructure. Infrastructure and mostly you people will be thinking that infrastructure means what? Infrastructure is nothing but the kind of the servers, infra servers we can call it as, where you are deploying your applications. So suppose now you are in a you're in a conference hall. So you might be saying that the infrastructure is good. What is meant by infrastructure in that conference hall? One is central AC, one is internet connectivity, one is having the good we can call it as a projector, and the audio system, where the presenter who is speaking can be clearly audible to us. So these are all comes under the infrastructure here, guys. Likewise, for your application as well, the infrastructure means the number of servers you are maintaining, the kind of services you are providing through your applications. These are all comes under your infrastructure. Now, if you can see this one, the 10 VMs. Now here, what happens is the purchasing the 100 servers and placing that 100 servers in the office is quite difficult, because we require the extra office space we need to be purchased. How it is possible? Correct? It's a quite burden on your development organization. That is why in that scenarios here, we got a new concept which is called as virtualization concept here, guys. We got this virtualization concept, that is we have like your hypervisor, VMware, Oracle VBox, bare metal, Microsoft Hyper-V, like this one. There are tools which have been introduced into the market. So now this virtualization concept, with that one, we can able to be work with a multiple operating system. You can able to be spin up the number of servers also, guys. VMs means virtual machine. Now we are using all the cloud services like your AWS, Azure, or GCP, the cloud service providers, the AWS data centers, the servers which are all running on this virtualization concept only, guys. Okay, it is working on virtualization concept only. Now, if you can see this one, with this one here, VMware, suppose now I can able to be purchase one VMware higher end server. In that VMware higher end server, I can accommodate 10 VMs. 1 VM equals to 1 server. So 10 VMs means when 1 VM server, I can accommodate 10 servers. Likewise, to accommodate the 10 servers, I can use only 10 VMware servers. So that 10 VMware servers I can accommodate in one single room. How many ACs we required? We don't no need to be no need to be purchase the extra office space. Correct or not? So like this one here, we can able to be use this 100 VMs. We can able to be accommodate. And now the biggest challenge is now in all these 100 servers, I need to be deploy deploy my HDFC application into it. Am I right or not? If suppose now if I'm accessing my application from that server, so I need to be deploy and configure my application into the server so that it will be give the services to the other users. Correct. It will be providing you the services to the multiple users. So here also, suppose now HDFC application have been developed the Java using the Java, JBoss, Oracle DB, as well as Nginx, Tomcat server. All this softwares we have used to developing this HDFC banking application. So to deploy this application into the 100 servers, it's a challenge for me now. Now, any application you can take it. So deploy one application. So you even when you join any organization, so they are taking minimum 4 to 5 hours to providing you the laptop, creating the network ID for you, providing the laptop, installing the relevant softwares in that laptop. Apart from that, they are also installing the relevant software dependencies for your project. And then they are going to be handed over that laptop to you. So they took around 4 to 5 hours. Okay, on an average, it is taking 3 hours to configure one server. For 100 servers, if you do it manually, 300 hours it will be taking. 300 hours, it is a quite a lot of time, because every month we are going to be deploying that new services code. Every month we are going to be developing the new services. We're deploying that new services into these servers. So every month, are you going to be using this, taking this 300 hours to deploy this application? So where is automation then? So that is not works out. So in that kind of a scenarios, we brings this configuration management tools here, guys. Okay, configuration management tools, where we can able to be writing this automation script. With the help of these automation scripts, we can able to be deploying your application into the hundreds of servers within minutes. This is where you can feel that one felt that, yes, the DevOps, which brings that speed in your application development. Ansible, the tools like your Ansible, Chef, Puppet, SaltStack. So here we are using this automation scripts, writing the playbooks. We used to be calling these automation scripts as playbooks in the cookbooks. To write this one, we are using the bash scripting, JSON, and the YAML scripting here, guys. Okay, playbooks we are writing, bash scripting, JSON, and the YAML scripting we are using. Ansible and the Chef here, guys. So here majorly we are using this Ansible, which is an open source here, guys. In the real time, majorly we are using, because in real time, most of the servers are running on the Linux only. So Ansible is an open source, which is handling this one. So by writing this configuration script, we can deploy your application to the hundreds of servers within minutes. Fine. After that, deployed into the staging server, pre-production server, then we are going to be deployed into the production server. Here we are using the containerization concept here, guys. Here we use this containerization concept. The Docker, Kubernetes. The Docker, which is using here, Docker, and the Kubernetes we are using. The Docker is a containerization tool. Then what is Kubernetes? Docker, which is helping us to be maintaining the consistency of your application. That means in the development environment, your HDFC application, how it works, in other environments where your HDFC application have been accessing, it should be work consistently. For that one, we are using this Docker. Okay. Here, how it works, the development environment. Similarly, it works in the Jenkins environment. Similarly, it works in the build environment. Similarly, it works in the testing. staging, pre-production, production, and the load balancing environment. In all these environment, it should work consistently. For that one, we are going to be using the Docker. Then what is the use of Kubernetes? Kubernetes is playing a vital role here, guys, because Kubernetes, which is useful for the complex projects as well as the enterprise level applications. So that means it is automatically, as I told you, right, load balancing, automatically increasing the number of servers, auto scaling, scale up their business, scale up the servers. When the more load is coming, scale up the business, and high availability of your application, to giving the services to the thousands and the lakhs of users. For that one, we require this Kubernetes here, guys. We'll discuss individually when we are working with these with these tools. We'll be discussed in detail about this. And first, understand what is what. And then what is this Docker will do? What is this Kubernetes will do? So once it is deployed into this production server, now the last tool is monitoring team. Monitoring team people monitors this application. Okay, always there, monitors this application which is running in the production server. If they got any kind of a bugs in that one, okay, using the tools like your Nagios, Grafana, Prometheus, and all these things, the monitoring team people monitors this application, and they are going to be checking this one feedback. That means they are generating the feedback report based on that. If in the production server, if they got in, the application is getting delayed, application services are not working, application services are slow, its performances get slow. So why that performances get slow? So they are going to be dig out and make a root cause analysis in that one and find out that bugs. That means they're generating the feedback report. The feedback report, which is consisting of the three things are there: bug fixes, enhancements, and the new features. Bug fixes, we know that one, it's an error. So that they are going to be specified in this bug report. Enhancements means already in the existing, the feature is there, but they want the betterment of that existing feature. That is called enhancements, betterment. New feature. New feature in the sense, suppose now I am a HDFC Bank user, account user. I will also browse the ICICI Bank application. I also browse the HSBC application. I also browse the SBI Bank. So in those banking applications, there are some features which are quite impressive. Striking features are there. Now I want that one of the striking features should be there in the HDFC Bank application as well. Suppose now SIP investments are there. I want that feature should be there in the HDFC Bank. So I put a request in front of the this customer care people of the HDFC, and they will be forward that one to the management. And the management, like me, the other HDFC Bank users also requesting the similar kind of a feature. So when most of the people are requesting such kind of a feature, the users will be handling, the users will be interested to be take the management will be deciding that to developing that SIP investment feature in the HDFC Bank. So they took this new feature and giving that feedback report to the developers, and the developers are going to be develop that one, and again the same process is repeated. Now if you can observe what we have achieved with this process, that means the client is satisfied here. The client is satisfied here because his application is getting developed in a less time and delivering the quality services as per the market competency, is having the flexibility to give the new requirements, which is quite happy about it. The complete process is automated. Only the developers develops that code and push that code into the source code management. Only this process is manual. Once it is pushed that code into the source code management, everything is automated. Now the Jenkins will make the remaining process to be get it automated, configuring the jobs, then automatically getting connected to this one. See, in every phase of your DevOps lifecycle, we are using the automation tools, guys. Now here we have the GitHub and the Bitbucket. In the Jenkins server, we are having the build tools like your Maven. And next one, testing server, we are having the automation test cases like a Selenium, JUnit, TestNG. And the virtualization tools we are using here, VMware, Oracle VirtualBox, Hypervisor, configuration management tools, Ansible, Chef, Puppet. salt stack, and the containerization tools, we are having the Docker and Kubernetes, and monitoring tools, Nagios, Grafana. If you can observe, in every phase, only the developers push that code into the source code management. From here, everything is getting automated here, guys. So next one here, this is a CI/CD pipeline, which is works like a heart for a human being, guys. Without heart, humans can't survive. Similarly, without CI/CD pipeline, which is not possible for us to be developing your implementation of your DevOps is possible in your project. Clear? I'm done with the demo here, guys. Now tell me, do you have any queries? Are there any queries? Are there? Please do ask me. Now, guys, Nikhil Raj and Rajesh and Sriram, give me your mobile numbers here, guys, so that I can creating a group and send the link and the notes to you people and the recordings also to you. Send me, give me your mail IDs as well, so that I can send the recordings to you. Yeah, Terraform is also there. Terraform we are going to be using to increasing, that means creating the infrastructure templates. We are going to be creating, we are going to be including all this. So I was already given, right? So we are going to be discussing like the tools which are standard in the market. The first thing is project management, we need to be discussed. Agile Scrum, the DevOps life cycle, Linux, shell scripting, and Git and GitHub, Maven, Jenkins, Ansible, Docker, Kubernetes, Terraform, Nagios. Okay. Apart from this one, I'm going to be giving you some server relevant. So what is mean servers information? Okay. What is mean by servers and what is mean by virtualization? How they are going to be implemented. Okay. And the three-tier architecture. What is mean by three-tier architectures? Okay. What is mean by the different cloud types? How we are going to be working with this one. So these are additional information also I'm going to be providing here. This apart from this one here, as I said, I'm going to be giving you the daily runtime notes, recordings, of course, we are going to be providing, and weekly assignments, and real-time scenarios we are going to be discussing. Then we are having interview questions will be discussed tool-wise, and two complete projects end-to-end, two complete projects end-to-end. We'll be discussing this one, guys. So with this one here, it is helping for you to be facing the interview confidently here, guys. Okay. Okay, Nikhil, fine.